Hi, my name is Everly.
Hi, my name is Paula.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and welcome to the Dope Student Podcast.
So who are we here with today, and what is your profession?
My name is Doug Schrey, and I'm a bricklayer for Local 1 Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers, and I work for Torado Construction.
So today we'll be asking you some questions about your career.
What initially attracted you to the career as a union bricklayer, and how did you decide to pursue this path?
So my father, is also a Local 1 union bricklayer. He actually currently still works for Torado Construction. He is a foreman for the company. So growing up, seeing him do it in the trades when I was younger, he would have side jobs on the weekends and stuff like that, and I would go and help him and kind of get my hands dirty, just as you all are doing out here right now. And it kind of attached me to it. And then moving on from there, I just realized that I just fell in love with building things. And, you know, it's incredible when you build something and you can step back and look at it and just think to yourself, wow, I did that. So, yeah.
Could you share some insights into the training and apprenticeship process for becoming a union bricklayer? What are the key skills and knowledge you need to acquire?
Absolutely. So I believe Local 1 Bricklayers has a 4-year apprenticeship program. So even if you don't know a single thing, you can start there and, you know, from square one, and they have weekend classes, and you can start with a company and get sponsored. And as your hours accumulate, you can go up from there, and your paycheck will rise as your hours accumulate. The classes are incredible. The teachers over at Local 1 are incredible, and we just hired two people in your shoes, a couple years older than you guys, that currently now work full time for Torado Construction, and they didn't know a thing, but you have to start somewhere, so that's where they're at right now. And we also, on the flip side of that, we have a few employees that we hired years ago that are now full rate union bricklayers for us, working 40 hours a week, getting top pay. So if you have the motivation and the drive, it's out there to get.
As a union bricklayer, what types of projects do you typically work on, and what do you find most fulfilling about your job?
So we've done lots of awesome projects. Like I was speaking with a couple kids earlier. We did Comcast 2. We did all the masonry on Comcast 2. We are currently working on a train station out in Shawmont, right outside of Manayunk. That is the oldest train station in the country, and we are doing a complete rehab on that. So it's a pretty cool historical project. So, I mean, awesome projects. Lots of the high rises in the city. We did the City Hall gate installation project. We did all the flat work and all the bluestone work at City Hall. And then going back years, I mean, we worked on the Phillies Stadium. We did the work on the Eagles Stadium. I mean, basically, everywhere you look in the city that has masonry on it, Local 1 has touched, and Torado Construction has been a big part of it as well. The fulfillment comes from, like I said earlier, stepping back and knowing that when a project is complete and the building's open, it's just cool to know that you had your hands on the material that helped build that building.
Construction is known for its physically demanding nature. How do you stay physically fit and maintain your health to excel in your role as a bricklayer?
So yes, bricklaying and block laying is a very physical trade. Some of the blocks we lay are 65, 75, 85 pounds, and you lay them all day long. A lot of times you got to reach over your belly to lay them. Drink lots of water. That's one thing. And just constantly stay moving. It's just, I'm a firm believer as a body in motion stays in motion. So if you are out there moving around, you know, I see what I do all day long kind of as exercise. I know it's not the same thing as being at the gym, but it all plays the same. It all plays a role. It is very physical. It's probably one of the most physical trades there are. It is very hand-to-hand combat, but at the end of the day, if you're working with a good group of people, it could be a lot of fun.
Collaboration and teamwork are crucial on construction sites. How do you effectively communicate and coordinate with other trades and team members to ensure the successful project?
Okay, so as I have moved along in my career, I started as a laborer, as Councilwoman was saying. I started as a laborer in 332, just like her grandfather. I was doing that for 5 years while I was also going to college at night. I did Temple University at night, and I worked my way through college, paying for it, and then that's when 5 years later, I became the bricklayer. And then I advanced to being a foreman for Toronto Construction. And now, in the last 2 years, I've become a project manager for Toronto Construction. So that's a telltale sign of starting at the very bottom and then going to the very top. So in every trade, every business, every company, there is a bottom, and you have to work your way up to that. But to answer your question, from a project management side, there is a lot of coordination and a lot of emails with these other trades to make sure things go smoothly. There's great software programs out there, which I'm sure the younger generation is very familiar with all this high-tech stuff that's going on. There's great software programs out there that allow us to communicate with the other contractors on a daily basis to make sure that, I have my joists coming from my roof next week on Thursday. Okay, we need to make sure we get that wall complete and bearing plates set by then so they can set their joists that are coming. So you are correct. There's a lot of communication, and picking up the phone helps a lot too, and lots of emails are flown around. It's pretty cool and organized in our industry with the software that we have to allow that to happen.
Bricklaying is a skill that requires precision and attention to detail. Can you share some tips or techniques that aspiring bricklayers should focus on to excel in the trade?
Yes, as I've gone through the years, I've realized that a lot of younger kids and newer kids in the trade, they just want the speed. They want to lay as many bricks in the wall as they possibly can, and that's it. It's just all about numbers. Well, with learning the mechanics comes the speed. So if you just sit back and take the time and lay each brick perfectly. So when I'm on a job and I have apprentices on the job, I tell the apprentice or the new employee, I don't care if you lay 25 brick the whole day, but they better be perfectly laid brick, opposed to you laying 200 brick and I got to fix them the next day because they're all bad. So with the mechanics and learning the mechanics and learning how to properly lay the brick and strike the brick and get it all figured out, with that comes the speed. The speed will come naturally. So that would be my biggest piece of advice, and just learning the mechanics.
Safety is a top priority in the construction industry. What safety measures and protocols do you follow as a union bricklayer and ensure the secure work environment?
Hard hats, safety glasses, high vis, all day, every day. We have what's called weekly toolbox talks, where we sit down and we go over a scenario where something could have happened, and we talk about what could have been done to prevent that from happening. We have weekly safety meetings. We're on a couple projects right now with Philadelphia Rebuild where we do what's called stretch and flexes every morning. So we talk about safety and any potential hazards, and we all stretch, and we kind of all get together and do jumping jacks and stretch. And safety can be very dangerous if you don't talk about it. So I always tell my guys, if you see something, say something. If there's a problem, I want you to tell me so I can make sure I address it rather than something happening later. So that's the biggest thing. Always keeping your eyes open, always being vigilant, and making sure that your surroundings are safe so you stay safe.
The construction industry is constantly evolving with new technologies and building techniques emerging. How do you stay updated on the latest trends and advancements in bricklaying?
A lot of emails and a lot of things like this, a lot of podcasts that we watch, a lot of magazines to see what's coming out in the future. For example, just a couple months ago, we went to a meeting at a place called Fasano Brothers, where we get a lot of our materials from, and they're coming out with this new high-tech block that is already insulated. So we went and we took a class on that, and we learned about that. So just in case it does come out, we're already well-rounded on it and know what's going on. So just trying to stay one step ahead of the curve in this industry is important, because there's so many other companies out there that are already doing that. So you have to always, as things change, you have to change with them, and you have to move with them, because at the end of the day, that's what they're going to follow. So yeah, just being on top of it, and not, instead of just deleting that email, sitting back and reading it and investigating it so you know what's going on.
Union membership offers various benefits and support for workers. What advantages do you see in being part of a union as a bricklayer, and how has it impacted your career?
The benefits that come with being a union employee is the main reason I am a union employee. The pay is great. It is a great career. I have a beautiful family and a beautiful life because of what I do out here for a living. And as far as the pay goes, I mean, your pension, you have 2 pensions as a bricklayer. You would be getting 2 pensions, an annuity, the best health insurance in the country, and the union backing to be able to know that you're going to be okay down the road. So it's incredible what the union does provide for you, and it really is a great career.
For individuals considering a career as a union bricklayer, what advice would you give them, and what are some essential factors to consider before entering the field?
What a lot of people tend to be upset about is we start very early in the morning. A lot of jobs we start at 6 a.m. The positive side of that, though, is you're home by 2:30. You know, you're home early, so you have the whole rest of your evening. Other than that, just it's very hands-on. You have to be ready to work, and you have to commit. You know, 80% of this job is just showing up on time and being there. So if you can show up every day, you will learn a lot.
Is there any social media we can reach you on?
Yes, I am on Instagram at Douglas_Schrey, Schrey, and then my company also has a Facebook and Instagram account called Torado Construction.
Thank you for watching another episode on the Dope Student Podcast.
Bye.